Alright, so a couple of weeks ago, I went on a date with this absolute baddie. Honestly, I surprised myself. How did I pull this 10 out of 10? I'm talking bad. Like, she had the face, she had the curves, she even had a nice sense of humor. Like, you know, one of them girls who are so good looking, you're sure that you're either getting catfished or you struck absolute gold. Because this girl seemed flawless. The night before the date, I was sat there on her Instagram trying to zoom in on her face to see if she had like human features. Like, you know, like a crooked teeth or a pimple on her forehead or dirty fingernails. Nothing. She was definitely handcrafted by God himself. Or the rest of us were probably made by some elves in like China or some shit. And I knew this girl was way out of my league. But I guess that's just what I do now. You know, that's just who I am now. Alright, so anyway, the day has come for us to finally go on a date. We're supposed to be meeting around 1 p.m. and I wake up at 12. Am I a dickhead? So instantly, I jump out of my bed, put on my slides and run to the barber's. I tell him, bro, I've got a date in 1 hour and I'm late. I beg you pattern my trim quick. The guy understands my situation and he tells me to sit down. And I'm sat there looking in the mirror as this guy's patterning my hair. I've never seen a barber's hand move so quick. This guy was moving like Bruce Lee the way he was maneuvering his hands through my hair. Anyway, 10 minutes later, I walk out of the barber's with a fresh trim. I sprint home and I jump straight in the shower. The whole time I'm sat there stressing about being late. Anyway, I hop out of the shower, jump straight in my car and I start driving towards the restaurant. And I realized while driving my car, my heart was pounding and my hands were sweaty. I was actually really nervous for this date. And rightfully so. This girl was like a goddess. And then it happened. I made the worst possible decision I regret to this day. So, I had some edibles left in my car. So in my head, I'm thinking, alright, I'm a bit nervous. These edibles will calm me down. Now for you to understand why this was a stupid decision, let me tell you about the last time I took one of these edibles. So me and my boys were hiking. We took one of these and we were so fucked to the point where we could barely walk. We had to return to the car and chill out. And that's how strong these were. So as soon as I reached the car park in the restaurant, I thought, you know what, let me just have half of the Oh, why did I do that? Alright, so anyway, here's what happened. So since I was 5 minutes early, I was just sat there chilling in my car after popping the you know, nothing happened. And when it was finally time, I got out my car and started waddling towards the restaurant. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the lack of food I ate that day. Maybe it was the fact that I stood up and started walking so the blood circulated it quicker. I don't know the science behind it. But as soon as I got out the car and started walking, I realized it was kicking in. You know, it was a familiar feeling. My legs started tingling and I was like, oh shit, it's happening. I don't know what made it kick in so quick, but the fact that the come up started happening so quick, I realized I'm in for a ride. I must have forgotten how strong these shits were. So as I'm walking towards the restaurant, I instantly start regretting my decision. There is no way I could show up in front of this beautiful girl slumped. I had to think of something quick. So what I did was, as soon as I got into the restaurant, I beelined straight to the toilet. Now I'm just sat there inside of the toilet trying to strategize. Like, bro, what do I do? And the thing is, the more I'm sat there, the more higher I get. Now after a couple of minutes, I finally came to a conclusion. And that was, if I'm gonna sit in the toilet and stress out, it's just gonna make everything worse and I'm gonna miss the day. So I'm gonna force myself to act as normal as possible. Boom. I've made up my mind. I stood up confidently. I went to wash my face and refresh myself. I looked up at the mirror and I started laughing. Bro, I can't take myself seriously. I'm so high that I'm laughing at my reflection. Anyway, I try to act normal as I walk out the bathroom door and I'm trying to look around for this girl. I open up my phone to try to call her to see if she was already in the restaurant, but I realized I was already 15 minutes late and I already had a missed call from her. See, now I'm stressing. How am I 15 minutes late? I walk around the restaurant trying to find her and I finally see her in the corner, sitting by herself, looking outside the window, just waiting for me to come. I feel like an absolute dickhead already, so I walk over to her, give her a hug and apologize for being late. So we both sit down and I start off the conversation with general things, you know, like how was the drive here? You know, looking at the menu, asking her what kind of food she's into, you know, the basic conversation. So we're 5 minutes into the date and everything's going well, but I just keep getting like I am so like 15 minutes into the date, I could barely keep it together. I was fried. So I don't know what kind of they were, but there's a reason to why we had to cancel the hike the first time we took him. The main reason I knew I was that was because I started overthinking shit to the max. Like I automatically assumed she was mad at me because I was 15 minutes late, but I knew that was all in my head because she seemed like the sweetest girl and we were vibing. But after a couple of minutes, I was relaxed. Maybe a bit too relaxed. I was so relaxed and I forgot I was on a date and I just started talking to her about some weird nerdy shit. I was sat there talking to this gorgeous girl about anime. Bro, how much of a virgin could I be? And when the food finally came, I didn't care about looking formal while eating, fam. I was so hungry, I was chomping down on my food. Why does food taste so good when you're high, bro? Anyway, we continued the date, had great conversations, and it's surprising, but I genuinely think the date went amazing. Both sat there laughing at the stupidest jokes. You know, we're both just sat there vibing, having a good time, which kind of led me to believe that she already knew I was. So about an hour later, we finished our date and we're both walking over to my car, and she said something that changed everything. Do you mind if I smoke in your car? Oh, I don't really like the smell of cigarettes, I'll be real. I'm not talking about cigarettes. Nah, what? Why didn't you tell me? You smoke crack as well? No, I'm joking. But as she was lighting up the joint in the car, I was just telling her, fam, I was so nervous the whole time. And she told me that she already knew from the first 10 minutes, and the amount of relief I felt was monumental. But yeah, I got home and I got jiggy with her, and now she's a loyal subscriber of the Lil Fried channel. But yeah, in conclusion, being high on a date is something I do not recommend.